Hey you creamy web shooters! I will now be ranking the full-length films that feature Spider-Man as the main character. Number 10 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This film is just awful. There was so much potential and talent within this that I was actually looking forward to it. But for everything it had going for it, it just falls face flat on itself. Jamie Foxx is a great actor, but for some reason his performance comes off as overly campy and so cliched it almost becomes a parody. The soundtrack is utterly awful, with some of the stupidest choices of sounds, trying to be hip and coming off like a grandfather teaching you about the word Riz. The plot tries to cram so much into it, that the story points seem to clash, making the whole story almost nonsensical. The saving grace is Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, but the natural chemistry can't save this dumpster fire. This is on my list of one of the worst films ever made. It's not even so bad it's good, which makes it even more disappointing. Number 9 is Spider-Man 3. This film isn't awful, but it's a bit of a mess. Apparently due to studio interference, it was very different from the film Sam Raimi was planning to make, which is a shame because you can tell that there was a lot of potential. Too many villains, too many twists, story moments and dialogue that at times are laughable, but I would lie if I said it was boring. Also the memes this film made are brilliant, with emo Peter swagging about being the zenith of internet quality. Number 8 is The Amazing Spider-Man. While the film is good, it just isn't as memorable as the other Spider-Man films. As an intro to Andrew Garfield's take on the character, it is a great start, and Mark Webb does make it look great, it just doesn't overly stand out. But I'd be lying if I didn't say it was enjoyable. Number 7 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. One of the biggest selling films of all time, it was very much one of the ultimate examples of fan service and one of the best kept secrets in film history. While I do think this film is great and it's mostly perfect, the biggest issue I have with it is some of the pacing, the improvisational nature of the three versions of the main character and some plot points. I will say that this film does take multiple watches to fully enjoy, but it isn't like a perfect package as some of the other films to feature this character. But it does stand out compared to the others. Number 6 is Spider-Man, the first cinematic film to feature the classic character and directed by legendary filmmaker Sam Raimi. This is very much one of the first modern blockbusters, in scope, size, style, narrative and technology. When this came out, no film looked as good as this and it still looks great today. While Tobey Maguire was an odd choice for the character, he completely owns the role and makes it his own and unique compared to other portrayals of the character. Possibly overplayed and at times it does have some minor cliches, it is still pretty much a modern classic. Number 5 is Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse. The first film to be animated and to feature the lead character as the Miles Morales version. The movie is very much a fun look at all the possibilities with the character and the creativity that can come with it. This won an Oscar for Best Animated Film, and it was very well deserved, as it is beautifully and creatively animated to be as vibrant as possible. Great voice cast, with amazing comical moments from Nicolas Cage and John Mulaney. It also has a lot of heart behind it within the plot. One that takes a few rewatches but worth it every time. Number 4 is Spider-Man: Homecoming. The first solo film to feature the character in the MCU and to have Tom Holland in the leading role. It successfully blends a high school comedy with the madness of a technological superhero film. Tom Holland, in my opinion, is the best actor to portray this character, almost as if he was born for this role. The supporting cast is great too, with major props to Zendaya and Michael Keaton in the villain role. One of the strongest films in the MCU and one with great playability and action set pieces. Number 3 is Spider-Man 2. With the first film in Raimi's trilogy being such a success, no one expected the sequel to be as impactful, but somehow he found a way. Improving on the plot, characters and set pieces, what really sells the film is Alfred Molina's role as the villain. A superhero sequel should always challenge the protagonist further, and Maguire is brilliant at showing how much hell he is able to endure. As great as this is, sadly the Bo Selector parody always sticks out to me, sadly diluting my memories, but in the most brilliant and hilarious of ways. Number 2 is Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. This movie is almost perfect, but what drags it down is that it's basically part 2 of a so far unreleased film. Story-wise and plot, the film is perfect. The humor is creative and brilliant, and the animation is not just a continuation of the first one, but it's a step up. All the story points hit perfectly, but what it does to drag you in leaves you wanting more. In many ways it set out to do exactly what it was supposed to, but who says we can't have too much of a good thing? In my opinion, the best film to feature Spider-Man as the main character is Spider-Man, Far From Home. Weird choice, I know, but let me explain. After the massive climax of Avengers Endgame, what else the MCU could do was very much and literally in the dust. But this film proved that as long as you're creative, then anything can be achieved. I always find it to be a bit of a trope to have the second film of a series to be the main character going on holiday, and maybe the film is aware of this because the humor throughout is fantastic. The action scenes and special effects are fantastic, and one of the biggest highlights is Jake Gyllenhaal in the villain role. But the real highlight is Tom Holland's lead performance, really showing the youthful side to this character. A film with great rewatchability and one of my personal favorites in the MCU. Thanks for watching. Recommend me another superhero to do this with, or else I won't catch you with my webs like I did with Emma Stone.